Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Write and Accelerate with Natalie. Today, I am super excited because I have a guest here on the podcast. So please introduce yourself, Josette, and tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, Natalie. I am so thankful to be on your podcast. Thank you for having me. And it's exciting that we met at a writer's workshop. A little bit about myself. As a writer, I published the first autoethnographic dissertation at my university. So it's kind of like focusing on research, but about my own experience and backing it up with a lot of literature review, of course. I am a multi-dimensional writer, meaning I really truly write different genres, very, very different genres. As a neurodivergent person, my brain tends to be all over the place. And so I had to try switching this from being a curse to a worthy challenge and a gift. I'm very fascinated by a lot of things, but one of my main interests is neuroplasticity. And so I use it to rewire my brain as I write. What would you like to know? I am an open book talking about books.
Yeah, wow, like that sounds super duper interesting. Um, how does that work? Like when it comes to creativity and writing, like rewiring your brain to to like I guess be more productive or right.
Right. So because I struggled so much with my identity, and productivity has a lot to do with identity, I have very intentionally used writing to rewire my brain as part of my identity. Meaning a lot of us tend to not write because we do not identify ourselves as writers. We are afraid of judgment, and that extends to all areas of our life. So we tend to have amazing ideas under the shower, and that's unfortunate because we cannot type under the shower. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have. I have.
And so same thing, right? We take a walk and we're like, wow, I am a genius. Why can't I be that eloquent outside of my head when people are around? Or why can't I be that creative when I'm in front of my keyboard? A lot of it has to do with switching our insecurity identity to I am a writer and I am good enough. I'm worthy of doing this. Did
That's
I answer your
amazing.
question? Because I do need
Yeah,
to.
I think so. I think so. It's because I read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and that one, like one of the key things for me when I read it was I need to identify as a writer and as an author to like actually sit down and write every day, and also like I need to identify as a healthy person to actually choose to go to the gym instead of sitting in front of the TV. So that was yeah, a really big like learning for me as well when I when I started writing. Yeah.
I love that you're bringing that up because one of the things I use my writing for is for healing. And I'm using it for multi dimensions again. So the emotional healing, identity healing, psychological healing, but also physical healing. My autoethnography was focused on trying to get a diagnosis for a physical illness that I now have diagnosed, thanks to a lot of support and thanks to that writing, that very purposeful journey. And so now that I've graduated, that this is out, part of my writing is also focused in, okay, the medical system told me that I could not be cured. But if I rewire my brain to believe otherwise, I know, according to many research, that this is actually not true. If I identify as a healthy, confident person that is completely capable, then I will be capable because I am. It's a manifestation thing. So.
It's really, really interesting. And but like one problem a lot of writers struggle with is writer block. And I think like can you use like brain rewiring or creativity in some way like to get out of writer's block?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people think that writer's block is a creativity problem. And it's not, because we are creative beings. Ever since we were born, that's what we do. That's our purpose in life right there. But writer's block comes from insecurity. It's always that overthinking of Am I spelling this correctly? Is my grammar correct? What about my wording? Who is going to think that I am not good enough? And so we tend to be our own worst critic, whether we are speaking on a stage or writing in front of a computer. We tend to be the own writer's block is that identity core. So having a pattern making routine of understanding that, you know what, I'm going to write without worrying about what my own brain may judge. No editing, just a daily routine, same place, same time. It's not about how long you write. It's about, okay, those are my 20 minutes a day of free-flowing routine where I let my creativity go like if I were taking a walk or in the shower, no judgment, no stress. So that was really hard for me because, again, I tend to be all over the place. So we wanted to look at our cell phone. What time is it? And we have all of those ideas that creep in, such as, oh my goodness, I need to buy this. I haven't cleaned the bathroom. All those things that shouldn't matter in that time frame are here as protective mechanism because all those things are not threatening. There's no judgment that's going to happen beneath them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
No, yeah.
So making it, you know what, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes ideally every day, just like you would do your exercising or your meditation and your grounding. If you stick with it, sure, the intrusive thoughts are going to creep in at first very regularly, but the goal is to build that resilience that every time they creep in, the bathroom can wait, I am safe. Because we know this is a threat response to judgment. And so you keep on flowing, no editing. I went a step further to motivate myself. The first few books that I published, I did not even edit them. And I did that. And I did that very intentionally, Natalie, because I understood that having a product out there with a cover already here was challenging two things. First, I was motivated to know that it was the first product was done and it could be edited at any other time, right? And the second one is, oh my goodness, what if somebody reads my unedited work with plenty of mistake? And so that is a constant practice of, that's wonderful because I am a writer and people will judge you either way. So I am not afraid of the judgment. I'm not. This is amazing. It's kind of like blowing it at public speaking. During my dissertation defense, I did the absolute worst, and I love it. I love it not because, well, that's something to be proud of, but because I still showed up, even though I didn't really have the answer that I knew I would have had under the shower. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
I get passionate.
Yes, I love it. I love it. This is actually something I talk a lot about when I teach people marketing, because they get so afraid that they don't do anything. And I'm like, but you can just post it and like see what happens. Post the video and make a fool out of yourself. Because first of all, that shows, you show people that you're human, but also it's like no one will care or judge you. People will probably think it's fun because it's not perfect, because the only ones who just do perfect things, at least with marketing, it's big corporations, because they can afford. And like we're authors, we're indie authors, we want to show that we're human a lot of the time. So
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And so my books can still be edited, right? They are out there, and now those 20 minutes a day can be worked on edits because it's stimulating to know that the product is already there. So why should I worry? It's already there. I just can progress little by little and republish the new edition as I go. Now, that's a very daring choice. I don't know many people who would publish unedited work, but we all need, to a certain extent, something slightly different from one another and slightly similar. So we know that consistency helps all of us. But we all have different levels of insecurities, right? And so that's where we need to kind of regulate and adapt. What does my nervous system needs most?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, because with my writing practice, I learned a lot from Atomic Habits. So I feel like I built like my entire writing process around that. But like I wake up and meditate, and then I do journaling, and then I write, and then after that I go to work, because mornings are like the best time for me to be productive. And like I'm tired and creative in the evenings instead. But like, do you have some sort of system or something you keep on coming back to? Is that how you built your writing practice as well? Like, are there rituals or more things around it? Tell me a little bit
Yes,
about that. Yeah.
I'm very lucky right now to have a very flexible schedule. And so I don't have the pressure of a 9 to 5 job like you do, or 8 to 5. And so meditation is absolutely crucial for me. And I do want to emphasize that this is one of the things that benefit all of us for many things, not just focus and health, mental, emotional, physical, but for writing flow. It does regulate our nervous system. So I do meditation several times a day because I tend to be always on the edge, and I need to watch my words because I believe words have power, which is one of the reasons I write very intentionally as well. I do breath work also to level up the stress, and then I go to my writing. And it's a 20-minute block. Because I'm writing in very different genre, I do give myself a little bit of space to pick which that day, the one that I feel like. So many people only write one book at a time, and this is absolutely fine. But because I am neurodivergent, it's not my case. I will be thinking about medical research today, and how about a children's story? Teaching French. And this is great because I think one of the failures of our educational system is that kids or students at all age tend to assimilate writing as a chore. And we also want to rewire that, right? It has to be some kind of exciting and purposeful to moving towards a goal that we want to see at the end. So I get into my little girl's head and I'm like, this is my 20-minute writing about, and then I let, what am I going to write about? Of course, I do not start a new book every day, right? I limit myself to, let's say, 3 books until they are all complete. Then I give myself space to start 3 other ones or to finish editing them. Did I answer your question, Natalie?
Yes.
Because that's one of my... Okay, I'm glad.
I believe you did. I believe you did. So a follow-up question to that, like if writers want to improve their focus or productivity, are there any habits that you recommend, or like what would you say to people who, are out there and want to write more?
Reading helps. So we have to understand that the more we read a certain type of discourse, it builds into our own writer's identity, the way we phrase things, wording, and it improves the flow. So the more you read, the better you write. That's a given. But also having that habit between that time frame, I do this, nothing else. My phone is turned off. I do not have anything on the agenda, and constant repetition. So it's consistency over intensity. We don't want it to be just bursts of excitement, even though those are great. Those are awesome. We want consistency. No editing. I think one of the errors that people... It's easy to criticize. You've heard many people who said, well, I could have written this. Well, but you haven't. And you haven't published it, right? And where judgment is, it's usually because there's a failure on our part to be able to do the same. So if you go to an art museum, for instance, I know I'm going a little bit on a tangent again with my neuroplasticity, but I feel it's relevant, right? You see a lot of people say, oh, I could have painted this. Okay, but you haven't, and I don't see your painting here. And same thing with writing. Do it and improve along the way. Do not be so afraid of what people will think. Your crowd will find you. And that's also super amazingly important and exciting to know that, there might be a 1% chance that these people are going to judge me, even though most people here are same like-minded. But the people that stick around will be my people. That's so exciting.
It really is.
So no stress. Rewiring to not be stressed, because stress is what creates writer block. And
I love this. This like my interpretation is that, like, we need to allow ourselves also to like have fun and indulge and like just be creative and go with flow. And then, because this is also how I write the best. Like I just get the first draft done, and then I can do the editing rounds and like, which some of them are a bit more like chores, especially grammar and stuff. I don't like it, but I need to do it. But it's yeah, I think because I also hear a lot of people who say they want to write, and then I'm like, well, take the time and write. I go, wake up half an hour earlier. You have the time. You don't have kids yet. Like, you can do it. Like friends here in Stockholm, but then they're like, no, I need an entire day to write. I'm like, but you have that, and you only spent half an hour writing that day because you watch your phone or you did. Yeah, I don't know. But like, I feel like distractions and procrastinations are really hard for people to fight with. And it's also been really hard for me. I had to download an app on my phone that blocks all social media when I write. So still use it today. I've used it for years now. But that was me like hardwiring my brain not to pick up my phone, because it's hard. Do you have any of those like ways to not distract yourself or like get out of bad habits?
Yes, well, kind of like you. And again, you are an expert at what you do, but it's having that 20-minute distraction free, no noise, same place. It helps to switch from this is who I am, this is what I do. And that distraction is, of course, you don't want to go to the gym. The gym is going to make your muscles sore. But if you stick to it, you realize you feel better because your identity is now one that is empowered of, I am that person that goes to the gym. I am that writer. So it's truly the intrusive thought of not being good enough is us looking at our phone, us trying to see, oh, it's raining, look at the birds. We are avoiding because we have an identity that has to be strengthened in terms of this is what I do and it's exciting. This is what I want to do. So everybody's different, but it's training our focus, and productivity becomes wired and creativity becomes allowed and not forced. It's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
And it's starting small as well, because not everybody can handle 20 minutes. Now I can, because I've been doing this for a couple of years. But I started with 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. And then I would write silly sentences that didn't make sense. But I repeated it daily until those 5 minutes became, well, this is a very good paragraph. This is a great page. This is a great... And you extend it so that you let neuroplasticity do its work.
That's really interesting. Like, yeah, I can tell that you know a lot more about the brain than I do. I just read books about habit formations and.
Well, this is the brain. You just call it something different. So you do know exactly what I know. It's just
but it's so interesting. It really is. But like. So you talked about like also like writing being a healing power. So do you want to share a little bit more about how we as writers can leverage writing when it comes to like, I don't know, improving as humans?
Oh, I love that you're asking this question, because that's the one commonality between all of the genres that I write about. I do it very intentionally, moving towards identity. And so I understand that everything is built on that confidence that I have lacked most of my life, which had me look like a fool in front of crowds defending my dissertation, amongst many other things. And so when I write, I become my creative work in process of who I want to be. So I am that hero in the book, and I want to manifest who I want to become tomorrow. So more confident, more applied, moving towards specific goals. And that is in terms of doing medical research. Like, hey, it's not because there hasn't been a cure for my disease that I cannot partake in that action. I'm going to do it very intentionally. Or writing, I write fantasy about a world that I would like. And I believe in manifestation. It's a faith-based thing, but that our words and our thought create our reality. So because most of my life I've had negative self-talk, I am not good enough, I am not this, I am not that, I'm not capable. It's something that affected my performance in all and every way, and something that affected my health in turn. Because if you have a strong grounded identity, then you have the right practices of eating right, of doing your meditation, taking your walks, reading purposefully positive things, and therefore that affect the ultimate outcome. So when I write about, okay, you know what, the world right now is a scary place to be, and I'm involved in social justice. So I see I'm affected by wars, I'm affected by the earth being, the water and the oxygen, everything affects me. And so I created a book called Verde Luma, where I write how we could use our community to step away from those practices. And for now, it's just a book, but in my mind, it could manifest something bigger. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I know I
'Cause
tend to be a little bit excited.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. No, but I think it really makes sense because, like, for me, when I'm reading, like, I see what I read, I live it, and put my own interpretations of it on it, of course. But it's like that is the amazing thing about writing as an art for me, that we don't get all the visuals and sounds, and everything is not there already. We have to create it in our own minds, and that's the amazing thing about the brain. But that's also like when you write something that you actually create. I love this idea. I haven't like, thought about it that much until now, but I really like this, and also like creating the person you want to become and the life you want to write. Yeah, super inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I had been able to tell you this about myself, but this is very new. This is about a 5-year ago change in me. And the earlier we start to realize that our thought, our emotions, and our words have power to influence the way we feel, we can then use writing as a superpower. That's very cool.
It is. It is. I think it's something more writers should use to also, like, in a safe way, dive into things that they want to explore, or like, because I think, yeah, a lot of people also can use it to, I don't know, heal childhood trauma or whatever it is, like, but in a safer way. The same with reading about things that we are curious about, what we don't know. Like, yeah, super interesting.
Exactly. Yes, there's a practice that's called neuro-linguistic programming. And so it's the word we choose to describe one thing can be very different from one person to another. But if we just do so very intentionally and purposefully to make it empowering, sorry, I have a dog on top of me because being a little needy. It's one of the many practices that help us rewire into a positive mindset. So even if people use journaling instead of writing an actual book, that is, I am a writer practice. If you do it consistently, I am someone that writes. And Claire, we don't want a pitbull right now. I'm sorry. Can you see her?
Yes, I can see her.
Okay. So I got a little distracted. This is one of the things. I'm pet sitting right now. Usually no dogs around when I am writing my 20 minutes a day. It's just a different setting.
Yes.
Okay.
No problem.
Sorry. So yes, creativity flows when the nervous system feels safe. We want to feel safe and have a consistent routine. And you also want, what is it that you want to do? You just want to publish a book, or you want to publish a book that, and then you fill in the blank. A repeatable commitment with a purpose, right? So do we just want to go to the gym because, or do we want to go to the gym to blank, lose weight, build muscle, build resistance? And same thing with writing. Do we want to write to vent, like as a journaling habit? Or do we just want to write to have a book and say you have a book? Or do you want to write a book with, and then you fill in the blank, for healing, for identity, for creating a new world?
Yeah. And also because, like, some writers tend to also think this is new, very unexperienced writers, but they think that they can write a book, it will market itself, and they will make a lot of money, like just sell, like it will sell itself. I'm like, this is not, like, you don't make that much money on writing to start with usually. And so you need to have, if you want to have an author career, you need to have something more that motivates you to actually like keep going back. Because I don't know, I counted how many hours I wrote like last year. It was a lot, like a lot of, like if I count the royalties I get, it's not very well paid. I can tell you.
No, it's not
No.
something that's sustainable unless you
No.
are truly already well known.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what you do. That's your expertise. I've looked at your profile, and it's amazing that you are an expert at marketing. You have your
Yes.
own page. Everybody, all my people, please follow her, by the way. Yes, that's something that I am not there yet. And so where I used to say, I'm going to try being a writer, I have now moved to I am a writer, which was one of my purpose. And now I do need to learn to move from I am going to try marketing to I am marketing, because that's your expertise, and I'm not there yet.
I think you're getting there though. Like,
Thank you.
yeah. It's slow steps. Like you don't like I've been working with this apart from my writing for a long time. So it's, for me, it comes very naturally with the marketing part, but I need to prioritize focusing on writing instead. Like, because marketing is fun and it gives me a dopamine kick whenever I create a fun video for social media. But also but writing is what will get me further in my author career. So do you have any other like things that you want to share with the audience about writing, or about your author career, or about neuroscience?
I have so much to say, but I think I gave you the highlight.
Yeah.
It's just reducing insecurity and moving with purpose. And that will apply not just in writing, but for everything else. Knowing that whenever we find a distracting thought, oh my goodness, I forgot to buy milk, or whatever it is, did I take the trash? I don't remember if I took the trash out. All this is your brain trying to go towards something that feels less threatening. So our goal is to rewire intentionally those thoughts, like, okay, I have an intrusive thought, it is here, and I feel safe. And we continue on moving on until we get that product out there. Whether you want to publish in a very risky way like I did, without editing first, with the intention of doing so eventually, right? Or editing before you publish, which is what most people that are not as daring, I will call it daring, would do, right?
Yeah.
But no, you are good enough, and there will be people that appreciate your work, and this will be your crowd. So you improve by doing. Don't say, I wish to go to the gym, or I wish to write. Do it. Just do it.
That's really good advice. I completely agree. It's the same with marketing, it's the same with writing, and going to the gym also. Like, just do it, show up and see what happens. Just showing up in itself can usually be a win, because that's the hard part.
I'm using it in parallel, right? I'm so sorry. I'm using it in parallel because a lot of people do understand the gym metaphor, which is literal. Actually, it's not a metaphor, it's literal, and they don't necessarily see how it's exactly the same thing with meditation, which can be very hard for people, breath work, or building that daily habit of, okay, I'm going to replace my coffee with tea, or I'm going to write at that time of the day.
Definitely. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find all the information about Josette in the show notes. So thank you.